Hi, this is Susan Crawford. This video will show you how to take old greeting cards that you may have saved just because they were too pretty to throw away and make them into small trinket boxes. I hope you enjoy giving it a try, seeing the magic of turning something flat into something three-dimensional, and that you will find them attractive and useful. We're going to make tiny trinket boxes from an old greeting card. You have purchased a kit that looks something like this one, and inside are some of the tools you're going to need to make this little box. You're going to find directions inside. You will also find a couple of greeting cards used. You're going to find one set of a front and back that have already been prepared for you. You're going to find a measuring guide and a folding tool. Your instructions do tell you the other things you're going to need. You're going to need a pencil, a metal edge ruler, which could be a real metal ruler, or one of these inexpensive wood rulers that has a metal edge. A craft knife. This ruler you can get at Mark's for just 39 cents. And you also need a craft knife, but you can also use just these small box cutters that are inexpensive. This set at Mark's was just 99 cents. I needed my scissors to cut this apart because I haven't done that yet. They're packaged quite securely because we're going to use one of these knives for me to show you how to get your little box put together. With the one in your packet that is already cut, you can go ahead and skip to folding the squares. But for the video, I'm going to show you how I prepared these into this set of squares that will become a box. You find a card that is appealing to you, and you use your centering tool to get an idea of what you would like to show on the top of your little box. Here's some that are already made, and you can see that has maybe a 3/4 inch side. It depends on how big you make it. A little top, that's just like 1 3/4 inches across. So it's big enough to keep something in. I keep my paper clips in one of these. So we're going to use our measuring tool, and we're going to find the part of the card. You move this around, it kind of gives you an idea of, okay, what part, but I need all these edges. Be sure you keep those edges in because you're going to need them for the folding. And this one looks like it is going to work about like this and still have a picture inside that is appealing. We could center it down this way. We could come up. So you just have to kind of play with it and see what you like the best. I think I'm going to go down like this. And now I'm going to use my pencil and get an idea of about where my side should be. This one looks like it matches that, so I'm going to just use that edge. Down here, I'm going to have to come in a little bit. So I'm marking that. And over here, I'm going to have to go off to the side a bit. Then I'm going to take the other thing that was on your materials list, and that is a cutting pad. This one is a lovely little cutting pad that already has measurements marked on it, which is helpful when you're doing some cutting. This cutting surface I got at the Dollar Tree in Minerva, and it was only $1, which for these kinds of cutting surfaces is pretty inexpensive. You can also use, if you don't have a cutting pad and don't care to invest in one, you can use a piece of thick cardboard. Not corrugated, that wouldn't work so well, but thick cardboard. So I'm measuring my top edge, which was kind of torn, and straightening that up. And then I wasn't pressing hard enough, so I'm going over it a little bit. Most of the time when I am working on these, I do my cutting standing up. It works better. I get a little bit better leverage. Then I'm going to cut my other edge. When you use this kind of a cutting board, it really helps you because there are measurements right along the edge to sort of guide you when you're doing your cutting. My mark is right down here. I can see it. So I'm following those guidelines on my board. Now I'm going to cut again. That one went better because I stood up. And then I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to go back to, I want that same space. And one of my edges isn't too straight. I can see that. Back to here. And do another cut. You can mark, you can check. That one came out at about, or you can use your measuring tool. And I'm a little longer one way than the other, so I'm going to try and fix that. Yep, a little bit too much space on this side because I didn't take, whoa, there we go. That's why there's more space. It didn't come off. Nope, still there. A little bit more off this way. I'm going to put my guide back on there and see which way did I want to go. Okay, I have this side too wide. All right. That's where we want to be. Okay. I'm going to come down and catch that. Right here, right here. Now I also have to make, that's going to be the top of our box. I have to make one for the bottom. So I am going to use the back of the card. And I'm going to come in and make this side of the card 1/4 inch smaller than I made the top, the one for the top. I'm going to come in right here. There's my mark. We're going to try that one. I'm just going to mark one to begin with and cut it and then go for the other one. sorry, need to turn that so I can see. That one comes to half. And we'll go around and come to that same spot. Sometimes the back has a picture on it too, and you kind of want to have that be in the middle of the bottom of your box. So you can do the same kind of centering process we did for the front. Always remembering that that bottom piece has to be a 1/4 inch smaller from the top. So we're gonna put them together and see how we're looking. Pretty good. This one over here looks pretty uneven. I'm gonna straighten that up. A little bit off. I think that's where my knife had to go twice. And let's see if it cuts better this time. There we go. So we're done with our cutting surface for now. Now we are going to turn both cards so that the back side is up to us. Now, sometimes when you are using a used card, you're gonna find that there's writing in there, like this one. Don't worry about that. Even if it's like greetings from someone that you know and you're not sure about, don't worry, because it's all gonna disappear when we fold the box. You'll never be able to see it, so it's all right. Now we're gonna use our ruler, and we're going to draw an X from one corner. It's hard for you to see that corner, and so I am going to move my green placemat, move it so you can see this a little better. We're gonna go from one corner of the diagonally from one corner to the other and draw a line. Then we are going to do the same thing in the other direction, corner to corner. This gives us a central point, and that is going to be our guide for folding the box. So we do both pieces exactly the same. Both pieces are made identically except for that 1/4 inch difference in measurement. The bottom has to be smaller so it will fit inside the top. Unless your paper is extremely heavy, which I advise you not to use anyway. Those really stiff cards are very difficult to fold. So you can just avoid those and maybe think of another use for them. So now we are going to take our box top and we're going to start folding. I am going to put my pad back here just to protect the table. And we're going to get our folding tool, which typically of me I've lost in the things on the table. Here it is. You've seen these before, but they work really well as a folding tool. So we're gonna start with the corner facing us, turn it up so that the point just meets that central point of the lines. You hold it tight with your thumb and then use your folding tool to press down that fold. Then, this is the harder fold, you turn it again, use your forefingers to kind of hold that point in. And when we turn it again, we're coming just below. I don't go to it because it's hard to see it then. Just below that line we made. Then You do it again, nice and stiff. So it's folded up like that. There's a picture of this, these two steps in your instructions. Then you unfold it. One thing I like to do just to help out is fold it back like that and run that folding tool again, because that fold was through two layers, so we just made it sharper. Made our fold nice and sharp. Then you turn it quarter way around with it opened out and do the same thing all over again. So you hold it tight, really firmly push down with your folding tool. Tuck those fingers in to keep that there. Go to the line, fold again. It's a little hard on your thumbs working like this, especially in the winter. I have cracks in my thumbs already, so it can be uncomfortable. So I'm doing the same thing, opening it back up to make sure that fold is nice and tight. Back again, quarter way around, again, right to the middle. Tuck it in. Bring that to the, have to hold that. This one wants to sneak out. There is something with papers that are made by machines, have a way they like to fold and a way that's harder. And it's because the fibers of the paper pulp is shaken and ends up in lines, like in rows across the paper. And so the way the rows go, it's a lot easier to fold. When you're going across those fibers, it's a bit harder. So that's why one direction folds better than the other. If you ever want to know which direction is which on that, you hold a piece of paper and you balance it on your arm, and one way it's going to kind of flop down and the other way it stays more level. That's how you know which way it's going to fold better. Go with the way that it flops over. Here we go again to the center and right up to that line. I'm going to take that one out again and make sure that this fold down here is nice and sharp. Now, you fold the bottom in exactly the same way. We'll do it again. I'll give you 2 times to watch. So I'm going to hold that one down, use my folding tool. Always make sure you go all the way to those edges, because that part is very important to the step where we actually form it into a box. And it goes all the way up to that very, very edge. There's that one. I'm gonna redo that way. Turn it a quarter way around. Hold it down with your thumb. Nice and flat. This process, part of the process, both the measuring of the square and this folding, very important to be precise so that the box will fit together properly and actually be square. One more tuck. Bring it right up here. Trying to escape from me again. We're on the bad side. Last corner. This is the one that folds easier. I can already tell. All the way out. We're going to do that one more time. So I'm going to make sure all my folds are nice and tight. Doing that one more time, I could feel that it was a little bit, just a little bit. Not quite as, that one feels good. All right, now comes a part that's also extremely important. And I think it's easier to do with the top of these pieces up because I can see it better. So now you can see that our fold have created a square right in the middle. That is going to be the bottom of the box. This is the only place you use your scissors. I don't usually like to use the cutting tool because I feel like it's hard to get it flat once it's been folded, and it's a little easier to handle this cutting with scissors. Nice sharp ones with a point. We are going to make 4 cuts. We're going to follow the fold line to the corner, just the very corner of that square. So I'm following my fold line right in there. Then I do it on the same side to the corner of the square. Very important now, I'm going to flip it all the way around and make cuts on the opposite side. We only cut on those 4 spots. 4 spots. So now we have 2 sides that are triangular and 2 that kind of look like flaps. This is going to be our box bottom. We're going to take the top and make our 4 cuts into it. Just to that center corner of the center square. Flip it around. Same over here. All right, now comes the fun part where this sort of messed up looking piece of paper becomes a box. We're going to turn it with the back side up, take one of our triangular sides and stand it up, tuck down the triangle in the middle, and take the sides and fold them at a 90-degree angle in. And we do it with the other triangular side. Same thing, stand it up. Now we fold in those wings, I like to call them. They kind of look like a wing there. Fold them in while holding them together. Take the flap side, bring it up and over, and tuck it in. Do it on the other side, same way. Flap side, up and over, tuck them in. Now you tuck this in nice and tight with your fingertips down here. And if we've done everything right, they should hold each other in. There's our box. I like to pinch these sides up and make sure they're up and over nice and tight. So it's staying down there all by itself. We're going to take our bottom, do the same thing. Triangular sides, fold up, turn in our wings, turn in those wings, up and over. Wings are up and over. tuck them in nice and tight. They kind of get caught on each other in the middle, and usually they will hold themselves. If for some reason they won't, and it just doesn't seem to be, this one right here feels to me like it just needs to be folded once more. It feels right there. And this one, so you can try those things. That one right there feels like it's not quite. All right, we're gonna tuck them again. And I think they're gonna work. There we go. So now we have our bottom and our top, and all you need to do is fit them over one another. Helps if you go straight on, and there you have a little box made from a greeting card. This is where you just admire your work. That's how it's done. If you ever have questions on your instructions, there is a cell number and an email that you can send me a message, or send me a text and show me your box. I would love to see them. Thanks for buying the Take and Make kit and watching my video today.